What's going on, trainers? Welcome to another episode. So, let's
What's
get
up,
the
trainers?
YouTube stuff out of the way. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Yeah, that's the last thing. Alright. I always have to think about it because I'm like, I know I'm always missing one. So, we have,
You've been doing this for how long and you still can't remember everything?
I think it's 7 weeks now. I've been doing it 7 weeks, which I was thinking about it. You know, I got to looking at what week we did our stream on, and that was last week. So I think we might stick with the every 6th week we'll do a stream, like a live stream.
Oh?
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
See, now that's getting a curveball thrown at me. I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah. I was thinking about that today. I was like, well, 6 weeks. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. Why not?
We'll
But
see how things go.
exactly, it's always just a seat of the pants kind of thing, you know. Because let's see, you got talked to about the topic. What, like just yesterday or the day before, and then we talked about it today.
This morning was when
Yeah.
I found out about it.
Oh, I put it in the Discord like 2 days ago.
That was what I was reading. It was just this. No, you just put it in yesterday, but I hadn't gotten on Discord yesterday when you had messaged it.
So yesterday, day ago, yeah.
Yeah, so but I didn't read it till this morning because I hadn't been on Discord.
So, speaking of today's topic, y'all, we're going to talk about Pokemon's 30th anniversary, which just so happens to be next year.
Next year.
Next year.
What we're thinking is going to be what they're going to do for 30th anniversary.
I mean, we know they're going to do Gen 10. That one's a given, which I think we've pretty much decided next week we're definitely going to talk about Gen 10. I mean, this week I came this close to being like, let's talk about Gen 10. But I want to hold off just a little bit longer because I've been thinking about some Pokemon that I think are going to be in Gen 10 and the region, which kind of plays into what Pokemon are in Gen 10. But 30th anniversary. Now, I know nobody wants to go back to Kanto. I know
I do.
I'm not gonna lie.
I do.
With the topic we're talking about, I really do. I really, really do. So, every Pokemon game that they've gone back to a region, like, 30 years ago, we were in Red and Blue. We were in the original Kanto region. We went back to the Kanto region in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I mean, technically, we went back to the Kanto region in Gold and Silver, and there was change there. But specifically, what we're talking about is, as time goes on and we revisit these regions in kind of like sequels, but not really sequels to these games, things change. And that's one thing I'm loving about Game Freak when they make the Pokemon games, is that they're keeping up with the time period. Okay, so what was it? Speaking of Legends EA, right? We went to Kalos in 2000. I think it was 2013. I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But we went to Kalos in 2013, I believe. If we're going to Legends EA, which is why it is kind of, what's the word?
Futuristic.
Yeah, a futuristic. Can make sense that it's in the future, right? If this is, we'll even just say the 11, 12 years into the future from X and Y. Are you looking it up?
I can though.
Yeah, look it up because I really want to know. I want to say it's 2013 is when X and Y came out. So if it is 2013, we're looking at 12 years into the future, possibly, because we all know Legends. Is it
6 days after my birthday in 2013.
see. So 2013, right? So if because the Legends games are kind of experiments.
Their own series. Their own series.
Yeah, they're their own series, they're their own experiments. But if it is in the future, could it be 12 years in the future? We know it's not super duper in the future, but it's in the future enough. Well, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, kind of backtracking, we saw change based upon the years. That was the difference between Gold and Silver and Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Even in Red and Blue to Fire Red and Leaf Green, we saw changes, right? So we saw in looking at my list, was it Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Viridian City, the 8th gym. Do you remember? Not the original series. Okay. Bonus points if you can tell me what the 8th gym was originally.
Fire.
It was ground.
8th.
The 8th.
Oh, I'm thinking 7th.
No, that was Blaine.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, no, ground. Ground and poison. Giovanni.
So in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, or no, it wasn't Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, or was it? I forget.
I don't know.
Who replaced Giovanni? Because if you remember, in the original games, Giovanni was the leader of Team Rocket, right? We defeated him. So what if, right? What if it's no longer Blue who replaced him? Blue's at the time took over after Giovanni. This is, if we're looking even 20 years in the future, Blue's probably 40, 50 years old. I'm going to say, let's see, we'll say 25 years. We'll say he was 15. I don't know how old he actually was, but we'll say he's 15, right? In 25 years, we're looking at a 40-year-old Blue. Would he even still be the 8th gym leader? I mean, we saw things like this, right? Where Giovanni got replaced. What you got?
He's still the gym leader, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Who, Blue or Giovanni?
Giovanni.
Then it must have been Gold and Silver then that it changed over.
Because Fire Red, he was still the gym leader in Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Okay, so then it was Gold and Silver that it changed over to Blue. Because Blue ended up being the gym leader after Giovanni.
Yeah, no. He's still, it's all the same through Blue, Red, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
So it's got to be Gold and Silver. Because if you remember, we went back to Kanto in Gold and Silver and Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I know. Like I'm going off of a little bit of knowledge that I remember because I did play a little bit of them. I've played a few ROMs too.
I know the gens, but I never played some of the games.
Yeah.
I played Gen 1, Fire Red and Leaf Green, and I played Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby.
Yeah. And see, this is where things get a little interesting. Because even in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there was a change to the story and the time as well. So you've played Ruby and Sapphire, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a change with Omega and Alpha. There was actually a story change. It wasn't the same people. They actually had Megas in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So we know that Game Freak is willing, as time progresses between each game, that they'll show the change. So just some quick numbers that I did a lot of research right before we went out and did our adventure, right? So in Kanto, the population for Kanto was 391 people for the whole Kanto region. They had 10 people in Pallet Town. 30 years, like a 30-year difference. I've lived through 30 years. For all the trainers out there, I am over 30 years old. 30 years is huge. In my 30 plus years, we went from using floppy disks to CDs to mini CDs to you rarely ever see CDs anymore. I mean, that's in 30 plus years. 30 plus years. Back in the day, I'm using 2 monitors right now. That wasn't even thought of. I mean, it might have been, but how often would people actually use it? Or even
let's be honest, oh, yeah. They also didn't have the HDMIs like we do today.
Right. Technology went from a tube TV inside of a wooden box that weighed 100 plus pounds to...
Oh, good lord.
And the screen size was only maybe 32 inches. Like, that's top.
If that.
You're rich if you got that. To 85 inches and 4K TV. Like, 30 plus years is a huge difference. Even when we're talking population, right? If Pallet Town was only 10 people in the back of the day, a small town in 30 years, especially, I mean, we're talking if, big if, they canonize a little bit of the anime and make Ash the Masters winner, right? He is a Pokemon Master. He's from Pallet Town. How many people are going to move to Pallet Town? How many?
A bunch of people.
30 years of people moving. 10 people is going to turn to 100. So what was a village in Pokemon Red and Blue now turns into a town, right? How much is that going to change?
A bunch.
Pallet Town went from 2 houses and a professor's lab in the old school games to, I mean, we could probably see high rises or apartment buildings and some small houses. Now,
They'd be chopping down a lot of trees.
Yeah, for real. Now, here's another thing that I thought of if we're getting into this, right? One thing we see in the anime, and we kind of see in Gold and Silver and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, is we kind of see us being able to mess with the Elite Four or gyms of another region. In the anime, there was actually gyms that we never saw. Yeah, so I don't know if you remember this, but in the original anime, you had Ash and Gary. Ash only had like 2 or 3 badges, and Gary had like 5 to 6. And they weren't the same as Ash's. In the original anime, there was gyms that we don't have in the games. So there were like sub-gyms. We had, what was it? Rock, water, grass,
Walk water, electric, grass, psychic,
fire,
poison, fire, and ground.
So That was back in the day. What if we ended up, and we kind of saw it with Johto, right? We saw some different types of gyms. What if we saw we're talking Pallet Town, a flying type gym in Pallet Town, where all there was this Pokemon lab. I mean, it's Route 1, right? What's the joke that everybody has? You're always going to catch the Route 1 bird, the normal flying bird.
Nope. I never did. I didn't catch him. I never caught Pidgey when he was little.
Oh, I always did. Always.
See, the funny thing is, I got the Rattata to go into Raticate.
Yeah.
But I didn't catch Pidgeot or Pidgeotto until you went to the islands.
See, I always, even though I'm not a fan of Pidgey by itself, I love the evolution up to Pidgeot. I love being able to do that. But what if we see a gym in Pallet Town, the very first town? Like, your whole journey starts with you catching a Pokemon with, I don't know, maybe it's Blue instead of Oak. Maybe it's Professor Blue instead of Professor Oak. And he's the one showing you, because, again, this is 30 years. If Oak is, I don't know, 50, because he's got a little bit of grays, right? That's 80 plus years. I'm not saying he wouldn't still be doing it, but maybe Blue's the one taking control of the lab now. Maybe Blue's the one that gives you your first Pokemon. And he takes you out to Route 1 and shows you, oh yeah, you can catch a Pikachu. You know, my rival Red, he had a Pikachu. You should catch one too. 30 years. That's a major difference. And the technology. We were talking about it in the car in our little adventure, right? That in the original games, Rotom wasn't a Pokemon in the day, right? There was no such thing as a cell phone in Red and Blue. You had a map. A map. You had to pull it out and look at it. And I think even in, was it Gold and Silver, they had the Pokegear? No, that was 4. But
Pokegear.
Yeah, Gold and Silver.
They brought the Pokenav out in Ruby.
Yeah, so
Sapphire,
Ruby,
and
so that was Gen 3.
Yeah.
And then
I think they still had the map in Gen 2.
Yeah. But they had something else. Because we had the radio station. Which, I miss that. That's one of my favorite features. Do you remember the radio station?
I didn't play
Gold, Silver. Okay. So in Gold and Silver, there was some sort of Poke apps or Poke tech, right? Where it was, instead of you have the full-blown paper map, you have other stuff on top of the paper map. But one of those things was you could actually tune a radio station and change the music you're listening to. Because and this is totally a deep lore video, because we could literally do a whole video on this. Because Johto and Kanto are the same continent, right? In the Pokemon universe. Johto had a radio tower that produced music, and in certain parts of the region you could actually tune the radio and it would actually spawn certain Pokemon because of the tuning on your radio. It was in the Unknown Cave or Unknown Temple or whatever, you could actually tune it to something specific. It was crazy. It was awesome. That was the coolest thing back in the day. There was also the what was it called? It was the tower that Ho-Oh actually brought up. Well, there's a tower like that in Kanto. There's like 2 towers that are the same style. You had the one in Johto, and you have the Lavender Town Pokemon Tower in.
Are you talking
Kanto.
about the tower that got burned down? That the
Yeah, and they rebuilt,
the whole.
and it swayed. You remember? Nope, not coming back. Okay, so that was.
I
the
didn't
tower.
play the game.
Oh, I keep you keep saying stuff, and it's like you're right. It's that. Ah, okay. So
I'm trusting you.
There was a tower in Johto that swayed, and that's where, if you went to the very top, that's where Ho-Oh was. It was a tower that burnt down, and they rebuilt. And the tower.
Because it burnt down, and the lore of the burning tower is where the 3 legendary beasts came from. Because Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon all perished in the fire. So when they was reborn, they came back as Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. That's the lore on that.
That's one theory. We don't have a definitive, but that is one theory. There's another theory. It's 3 Pokemon we don't know. It's totally mysterious. Like, there's several different theories on that one, and we could probably honestly almost do a lore video on that alone too. I would love to do that. Just to
we're getting ideas in a video for a later video.
Write that down, and write that down. I mean, I've already done lore videos on Arcanine and the legendary birds. I mean, we could literally dig in some lore because there's so much that Game Freak has left open-ended. So, anyways, back to that. Pallet Town being changed. Viridian City, which is where Giovanni / Blue was, only had a population of 34. Again, 30 years, huge difference. And again, we were talking about Blue. What if Blue's now running the Pokélab? Maybe Silver comes to Kanto and run, which if you don't remember, well, you wouldn't. You didn't play the game. We've got to get you to play the game. Alright, so Silver was actually Giovanni's son. Giovanni shows back up in Gold and Silver. And a little bit of, daddy issues with Silver, who was our rival. But what if Silver breaks those issues and becomes the gym leader in Kanto for the 8th gym? It'd be about right. He'd be 30 years, about 40, 5 to 10 years after Blue, taking over Giovanni's gym. Then we go into like areas like the Viridian Forest, where it was all bug Pokemon. Imagine, and then on top of that, imagine we're playing on the Switch 2, dude. 3D verticality in the world. We were talking about apartments in Pallet Town. You start out the game, you walk out of your house, and you've got apartment buildings over here, apartment buildings over there. Let me go down 2 streets to the Pokélab where old man Professor Oak was and Professor Blue is. But Viridian Forest being 3D. Yes. Now, I know you've played Let's Go. You started playing Let's Go. I know you haven't beat it, but you started playing it. Imagine that in open world 3D. I know. When I first started playing Let's Go, I was like, oh, this would be amazing. It's already amazing, but it'd be amazing in open world.
See, I kind of wish they would do a Legends game for Kanto.
I mean, maybe.
Just for the fact of it is, like, I know Kanto Pokemon has gotten a lot of love and everything else.
Yeah.
But Kanto itself has not really been shown the love it deserves. Because that was the start. That was the beginning of Pokemon.
Yeah. And see, I know a lot of people get burnt out on Kanto too, but as we're talking, 30 years turns a game that the time period was all old-fashioned and turns it into something completely new. Turns it into something that we weren't expecting. Johto's the same way. Johto came out and quote me or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it came out like 2 to 4 years after Blue and Red and Blue. Yeah, look that up because I'm actually really curious. But if it came out 2 to 4 years and it's still connected, like no joke, tissue connected, we went to Kanto in Gold and Silver.
99.
So 3 years. So 3 years later, we're in a completely different region and still go back to Kanto. I can almost guarantee you. Oh, did you see?
No. It's only a year later.
Really?
Despite these setbacks, the red-blue version with their original creature designs were eventually released in North America on September 28, 1998.
Oh. So 98. So
over 2.5 years after Red and Green debuted in Japan.
yes, that's what it is. That's where the 30th comes in. Is 96. So
See, that when we took our little trip earlier, you was trying to tell me Red and Blue came out in 96 here. I said for United States, it was 98, and you kept trying to tell me it was 96. 96 was Japan. 98 was US. So, I was right.
I was only 8 years old.
I don't care. I'm still gonna give you hell. Because you would do the same thing if it was reversed. Now I'm gonna double check when Emerald and everything came out.
Did we talk about Emerald earlier?
Yes, we did. Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby and everything.
Yeah, it was early 2000s. Because if X and Y came out 2013, you figure that was Gen 6. Gen 5 would have been like 2000, what, like 2000.
2002 is when Ruby and Sapphire came out.
And that's the year I actually told you. I guess
and
that one on the
Emerald came out 2 years later.
Mm-hmm. They usually do.
On 2004.
They usually do. Like, I think Pikachu Yellow was actually the only one that really didn't do that. Crystal came out like a year to 2 years after Gold and Silver. Which, I miss the third versions, but I think I like DLC better.
2007 was when Pearl and Diamond.
Yeah, that'd be falling. I said 2010 for Gen 5. Is that when it came out? I want to say it was 2010.
You need to quit guessing it right on the money.
Well, here's the trick too. It's every 3 years until this past year. Because if you figure 2002 was Gen 3, 2005 would be Gen... well, you said 2007, so that would be 5 years.
Because Gen 1 came out in 98.
Yeah.
Gen 2 came out 3 years later. I think that's what I said. Hold up.
No,
let me
you
double
said
check.
a year later.
That's why I'm double checking myself. Yeah, they came out in 99.
Yeah, a year later. So technically,
So
it'd be
and Sapphire and Ruby came out 4 years later.
okay. Which is crazy because usually it's been every 3 years they drop a game. But
And then
that's
a year later was Emerald.
okay. That would be
3 years
the third
later, 3 years later
Second.
was Diamond and Pearl.
one. Yeah. And
3 years later after that,
it's Gen 5.
which is Gen 5. 3 years after that was Gen 6.
And then we
Now I
start
guess
getting into Gen 7. That would have been okay. So Gen 7,
3 years later came out in 2016.
yes, but 2000, the next year would have been Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon because 2000. You said Sun and Moon came out 2016.
Yes.
It should have been like a year later because now we're getting to the parts where I don't know. But I do remember Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was the 20th year anniversary game.
And then Sword and Shield came out in 19.
Yeah.
And then Gen 9 just came out a couple years ago.
22.
Are you sure? I thought it was 21.
I want to say it was 22. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you was right. It's 22.
So.
And then we got Legend ZA this year, which is 3 years later.
Yeah. And
But the funny thing is, we got Pokemon Legends Arceus
in between.
in 21.
Yeah. And that was because technically they were planning it to be, and this is all due to COVID and the craziness that happened, but technically Arceus and BDSP weren't supposed to be so close. That it was because of COVID that they became so close together. Yeah. Literally, BDSP and Arceus were released, if I remember right, within 6 months of each other. And a lot of people say a lot of hype was taken away from Arceus from Arceus because of BDSP. But see, here's the thing, too. The Legends games don't play into that 3-year factor because they're built by a different team within Game Freak. Yeah. So,
but if they're going by that way, then we're not going to have a game 3 years after Scarlet and Violet.
That's because we just got through our drought year. And that's why, like, the way things are playing out, 2026 is the 30th anniversary when it released in Japan. So it's the 30th anniversary when people are saying Gen 10 will get announced. And I'm kind of agreeing with this. We'll see Gen 10 release on Switch 2 right around Christmas time. Or the November, December time frame, right? The holidays.
So you can get it for Christmas.
Exactly. And they'll get the most
Try to get it for Christmas.
Yeah. I guarantee you that game, they're going to make a lot of.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying try to get it, because we both know, like we said when we talked about the Switch 2 coming out, there's them poachers that will literally buy everything up to resell them. So technically Nintendo's still getting their money, but the poachers are making money back because of them buying them low and selling them high.
That's true. I feel like Game Freak's already seeing that with the cards, and I think they're going to prepare for it, especially being that 30th anniversary. That 30th anniversary, they've been planning, according to the Terra Leak, right? The Freak Leak, as Soul Silver Art puts it, which I love how he puts it. We actually got conversations, right, from Game Freak execs with anime people, with the Nintendo, like, with people about this upcoming 30th anniversary. Even leakers out there are like, ZA is cool, and they've been saying this before ZA was like this last Pokemon Day. This is in between where we had our drought year. They were saying ZA is good. It's not great. What's great is coming. Referencing Gen 10.
But see, the funny thing is, like, where everybody, like, for me, I never even knew anything about that. I didn't know nothing about it until you told me. So, I'm hyped. I'm still hyped about ZA.
ZA?
Because I'm not hyped. But I'm not looking forward past ZA like pretty much everybody else is. I'm looking forward to the game coming out now.
ZA is going to be amazing. It really is. But I see the patterns, and that's why next week we'll definitely be talking about Gen 10, because I'm gonna blow your mind with some of the stuff we're gonna drop. Like, and you might have, trainers, you might have already heard some of it, but in all actuality, like the Pokemon community, the ones that have been looking at Gen 10, we've been cooking some ideas, dude. Like, it's cooking. But
and that comes to where I'm not focused on past ZA.
Yeah, ZA is awesome. And I'm ready for it.
That's just the way I look at it. I don't look to the future.
Yeah,
I focus on the game that's coming out now. But at the same time, that's not fully true. Because even though it's going to kind of get off topic, I'm already looking forward to the end of this year's Call of Duty.
See?
Because 6 sucked. 6 sucked. Black Ops 6 sucked.
And see, it's the same way in Pokemon, right? We, sorry, I gotta fix this somehow.
You're good.
There we go. In Pokemon, and this is unlike, most games that are really popular, like Call of Duty, Pokemon has that lore. And it's got that connective tissue. Like we're already talking about Johto and Kanto being so intertwined. A lot of the Pokemon and stuff alludes to the next gen. Or, along those lines, we start seeing things in the games before. And in all actuality, oh yeah. All this stuff that we're talking about, right? Gen 1 was already alluding to Gen 2. Gen 2 was already alluding to Gen 3. Every gen starts talking and hinting, if you're listening, to the next gen. That's why a lot of people were already guessing Kalos before ZA was even announced. Because there's one picture in Scarvy of a acquired art of a Greninja in the base game in Nemona's house. Not just a Greninja. They were actually even alluding to Ash Greninja. Because it's got, and again, I say it's an acquired art because it's like almost like in a mosaic style picture. If you look it up, you'll see it. But it's even got the Ash Greninja look. It looks straight up and down like Greninja. Just like in, I think it was one of the prior gens, alluded to Alola with the Tapu mask. Talking about this is a strange mask from a different region.
And what house?
Nemona. Nemona. It's her parents' house. Yeah. Nemona.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And just like in one of the gens, there's actually 2 books on a top shelf that, and I don't know if this is like for real or not. I think it is. I've seen it in multiple different places in multiple different pictures of 2 books on a top shelf that are scarlet and violet colored that are right beside each other. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. One of them, yeah.
No, I didn't want to go to YouTube.
Oops.
This one's a better one.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Oh, let me get to. You're going with me. This is what you was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Oh my god. That actually does
Yep.
look like Greninja. Hold up. Now I gotta do this.
You see it?
Wait, why did my stream end?
I don't know.
Screw it, I'll just do entire screen. I know why. Looking at those side by side,
They're very similar. Very similar. The hidden ninja is supposed to be of a Pokemon. That's a water shuriken.
yeah.
Hence why people were saying, I mean, if it was if it wasn't an illusion, why didn't they just say a Greninja? Unless it's an allude to ZA. The games prior always speak to the upcoming games. Just like, and again, we'll be talking about this next week. We're getting deep into some stuff that next week will be amazing. Next week, all the Pokemon, even clothes that characters wear, names of areas, allude to the 30th anniversary Gen 10 Pokemon. No joke.
I guess I never looked too deep into it.
Like, I'm telling you. Like, and the funny part is, if they go the route that I'm thinking they're going to go, it goes back even further to multiple games alluding to this time. But we got way off topic. All right, let's get back to this. 30th anniversary for Kanto. 30-year.
We always seem to do it.
Well, always. If we didn't, we wouldn't be us.
Exactly. Especially when it comes to talking about Pokemon.
Right. So, we were talking about Pewter City, the Rock Gym. There ain't no way Brock is going to be the gym leader. If he is, I kind of hope he looks like Bruno. You don't remember who Bruno is? Oh, you are glitching hard. I don't know what's going on. On my one screen, you're good, but on the actual Discord, you're glitching hard.
As long as it's working in the video, that's all that matters.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But anyways, Bruno was an Elite Four. He was like a fighting type.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember now.
Yep. So I hope, if anything, he looks like an older version of him, but looks like Bruno.
Bulky as all crap.
Yeah, I doubt it, but we could see somebody different. I mean, we saw Rourke in Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, Pearl and Diamond, Platinum. We saw Rourke as the rock type gym. I mean, we could see something different. And this is another thing that we're not talking about. This is 30 years later from the original games. We've already seen Pokemon from different regions, even in the newer regions. We saw an Ursaluna in Gen 9 become a Blood Moon Ursaluna in Paldea. Or no, actually it was Kitakami. Johto. Right? Kitakami is supposed to represent Johto. It's in the Johto region. It is. Yeah. Blood Moon Ursaluna traveled from Hisui back in the day as an Ursaluna, and through evolution or convergent evolution became a Blood Moon Ursaluna in the Johto region. On top of that, Gen 4, we had Electivire, we had Magmortar, we had Magnezone, we had
Rhyperior.
What's stopping a Kanto Pokemon, a Kanto Magnezone, or a Magneton becoming a Magnezone? Because now it's been discovered.
Because it doesn't have the... Because just because they're in that region doesn't mean the stuff they need to evolve is in the region that they're in. They have to go to a new region to be able to get that.
Not necessarily. Every single Pokemon now, since Gen 4, has the Protector for Rhyperior. We even have it in Gen 9. There's the Magma, the piece that Magmortar needed for evolution.
Magnezone.
Yeah.
Not Magnezone. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me, but
I can't either.
And the same thing with the Electabuzz and the Electivire. That is in Paldea. That item is in Paldea. Same with, like, I think Magnezone now evolves with the Thunderstone. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's stopping these Gen 4 cross evolutions from now coming to Kanto? What's another one? The baby Pokemon. Right? We had the originals in Gen 1. I know nobody's really a fan of the baby Pokemon, but what's stopping the baby Pokemon? We have an Electabuzz, a Elekid, which I'm not going to lie, out of all the baby Pokemon, Elekid's probably my favorite. But still,
I didn't like any of them, if I'm being 100% honest.
Not even a Elekid? Oh.
I didn't like any of the baby Pokemon.
See, Elekid was probably the coolest out of them, in my opinion. Yeah, even Happiny I wasn't a fan of. Igglybuff and Cleffa. Blah. Anyways. But yeah.
Igglybuff, they really didn't even really try with that one, in my opinion.
Or Cleffa. Those two, like, I'm like, really? What's the point? At least Magby looked like a somewhat different Pokemon. It still had resemblance, but it looked different. Elekid really looked different. I love that. He had a cool look about him. But there's all these different Pokemon that are in the Kanto region that have evolutions, they have baby Pokemon. What's stopping us from getting them? 30 years later, that technology's there. That discovery's there. I mean, Hisui was how many years in the future? We kept the Pokeball, or future, past. We kept the Pokeball technology, right? We improved upon it. What's to stop us? Eevee. We already see in Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, fairy types coming to Kanto through another girl that came from Kalos, right? You remember that? In Vermilion City? What's to stop us from getting a Sylveon? Oh, Leafeon, Leaf Stones, Glaceon, Ice Stones. All these evolutions 30 years later. What was 151 Pokemon now becomes what, like closer to 200? And we've got all these gym leaders, and it's on the same continent as Johto. 30 years difference could mean Johto Pokemon coming to Kanto. I'm not gonna lie, I would love it to have like a sub-gym dark type and be facing Houndours, Houndooms, Murkrows, drop in even like exotic Pokemon to Kanto. I mean, we're looking, what I said, 300 and some odd people in Kanto, now turning like 2,000. Johto's probably got 3,000-4,000. 30 years is huge. And then, let's see, I'm going to run through some of these. We got Misty. I doubt Misty's going to be the gym leader for Cerulean.
I wouldn't be surprised especially if we're going like by the anime and stuff, if she's about the same age as Ash. 30 years later, she's only gonna be in her 40s.
Right. She ain't gonna be running around in bathing suits.
She's that confident in herself.
I mean, her sisters did it, and I don't remember how old they were compared to her, but still. I think in Pikachu and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, she was either in her anime outfit or she was in a bathing suit.
Bathing suit.
30 years later, I wouldn't be surprised if she's off on a sailing ship somewhere or something, doing shows or whatever, and we have some new
possibility
water-type Pokemon gym leader.
Or hers and Ash's daughter or son. What?
Back in the day, I thought that was definitely a relationship. Apparently,
I still do.
As time went on, a lot of people that watched the anime said it was Ash and another person. I don't know.
Serena?
I think it was Serena. I'm not sure. I haven't caught up on that.
That's the toss-up. It's between Serena or Misty, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the anime, okay. I told you I've been watching Horizons, right?
Yes.
So, within the first couple episodes, the whole first couple episodes, we're talking like the first 3, maybe 4, take place in Kanto. Schools. Now, this is something that was talked about in the anime, the original anime, maybe a handful of times, but we're talking Pokemon schools like in Scarlet and Violet style in Kanto. Pokemon schools. So now we go from 300 and some odd population to now we have Pokemon schools giving people their first partner Pokemon and teaching them how to battle 30 years later. Maybe there's not even a Pokemon lab like we're used to. Like
possibility.
Let's see. Cerulean City, Misty, Vermilion City. That's one who won't be there. Lieutenant Surge.
Yeah, no.
If he is, he's an old man, but I guarantee you he's going to be fit for an old man.
But to say he's already fit now.
Exactly. He's an old
I'm gonna say
person.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna be so if he's still doing it and everything, he's gonna be an old because I think he was like what, 30 something technically.
I know he was old enough to go to war, and this is a theory that I heard, maybe he was in the Great Pokemon War. But I don't know that how that lines up with the timeline. Not sure how that one works. But he was old enough to go to war, and he's been back for a little while. So I'm probably going to put it right in the same place you are and say he was in his 30s.
So he's going to be 60 something, if not pushing 70.
I mean, he could still be a gym leader, but I don't see it, y'all. I don't see it. So we're gonna have a new Pokemon new gym leader there, and again, new Pokemon. I foresee if they do it like we're talking, there's new Pokemon all the way around. Like not new, but new to Kanto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's Lavender Town, which had the Ghost Tower, or what was it called? I just called it Ghost Tower.
That's all I remember calling it.
So it had the Ghost Tower. What if that tower, after 30 years, they moved all the Pokemon graves? And now it's like some corporation tower, or maybe and I've heard this theory before, what if it's Kanto's version of the radio tower that was in Johto? I mean,
They removed that. That's just a no.
But you guys,
I'm sorry.
Even in our world, I mean, cemeteries are moved.
I know, and I don't, in my opinion, I don't think that's right. That should be their final resting place. Let them be.
Yeah. But that is a possibility that happens. I'm curious if that does happen. But then, let's see, Celadon City. Erica. Erica was that perfume maker, but she was the grass gym leader. And I want to say she had to have been mid-20s, early 30s.
Early 30s.
Yeah.
So she'd be in her 50s into 60s.
And here's an interesting thought. Are you ready for this? We see this in Sword and Shield. Kabu, one of the gym leaders from Sword and Shield, is actually from the Hoenn region. What if we get somebody from the Paldea region that's now doing the grass type gym?
But who would that be?
I mean, there's no telling. Maybe Nimona. Or maybe, you ready for this? Instead of Sabrina, it's the model from the one town near the beginning. I forget what it's called. You know, she's a psychic type gym leader. But she's the model. And she's...
I know what you're talking about, but I cannot think of her name.
I can't either. And yeah. What if she's the gym leader instead of Sabrina? Because technically Gen 9 Paldea is present time. And actually, technically, next year being 30th anniversary, it would be like a couple years later. And she got an offer to go model in Saffron City. Saffron City. And is now the psychic gym leader. And Sabrina has stepped down. And is going to live her life.
But you know something I just realized thinking back about it with being Saffron City? Technically, we in Gen 1, we already had a sub-gym.
Oh, yeah, we had the fighting gym.
Yeah, because that's how we got Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan. Champ.
Yeah. Oh, and
Chop,
think about
champ.
it. What if Hitmontop's in there as well? I mean, that was another one. We got it in Gen 2.
And see, another baby Pokemon that we technically forgot. Tyrogue.
Yep. I mean, why not? And like there could be new towns that pop up that we have these sub gyms at, right? I mean, maybe in the mountains past Pewter City, or you go through Diglett Cave, and instead of going straight through, you take a left and you're in the mountains, and there's the fighting type gym. They moved that sub gym from Saffron City and put it in the mountains. I mean, let's see.
Or like with the abandoned museum or hotel down there in Blaze's town.
Oh yeah,
Where you get Ditto and everything.
Cinnabar
That could
Island.
also be. I could become a sub gym in there if they technically wanted to.
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, I was reading in, I think it was Heart Gold, Soul Silver. If it's canon, which I mean, it's in the game, so it's got to be canon. But if this is the canon timeline, then Cinnabar Island was actually deserted due to the volcano erupting and taking out the island. It ended up going to another island. So now Cinnabar Island, the whole story behind Mewtwo, unless kept alive somehow, like the story, those documents, is now gone forever. So 30 years later, maybe we come across Mew and Mewtwo together. Or we see some sort of cutscene of Mew and Mewtwo, and we end up having to chase them both. Or maybe, and I've always hated this name, but Mew 3. Maybe we have a Mew 3. Somebody tried to create a new Mew or something. I don't know. We could come up with something crazy for the 30th anniversary. So there's a lot that could happen. And Blaine, ain't no way Blaine is still a gym leader in 30 years.
You never know.
He's got to be already 50. Maybe.
But you got to take consideration and Pokemon logic on that too. Because look at how many years has went by in Pokemon World.
Yeah.
And Ash has never aged a day in his life.
Well, and see, there's the thing. That's anime canon. It's never been brought into the canon of the games. Because everybody's got that, yeah. Apparently, I found this out, within the past couple weeks, that the creator of the original series did that on purpose. We still don't know why, but that's everybody's biggest complaint. Which is why, and this might be a little spoilery, but anybody that's been seeing the reveal of the new anime series part of Horizons knows that there's a time skip. And I think they did this on purpose to say, hey, this isn't your Ash's Pokemon. This isn't the Pokemon where Ash stays 10 years old. They actually skip a year between the first 2 seasons of Pokemon Horizons and this new one that is called Pokemon Mega Voltage or something along those lines. So there's a year skip from season 2 and this new series. So that's why it's so hard, because we see Crystal Onyx in the anime. We were talking earlier about the Crystal Onyx. We see the Crystal Onyx in anime, but we never see it in game.
It's also talked about in Pokedex entries too.
Yeah, but that's as far as we get. We never actually see it. Just like I did the video on Arcanine, right? We see it in Pokedex entries that there's this China-based region. But why have we not seen it yet? Yeah, there's so much. The anime lore or canon is not quite the game canon. Though, Horizons, from what I understand, is actually paying homage / sticking close to the actual game canon lore. But going back to it, there's no way Blaine's gonna be 80, 90 years old, easy. I'm gonna say he's probably pushing close to 100, because that mustache and those wrinkles makes him look like he's got to be 60.
Oh, so what you're saying you're gonna look like in 30 years?
Oh yeah, but me, I'm just gonna twist my mustache up with a little wax and go, no. But I don't see him being the new gym leader. And if I remember right, he was actually training his replacement in one lore or another. And I think it's a really obscure lore. But either way, I see him being replaced. Koga, the original Poison Gym leader in Fuchsia City. And he's actually gone. He's actually in Gold and Silver. He actually becomes an Elite Four member, and his daughter takes over the Poison Gym. So Janine is her name. I think she's probably close to 20, 30. She might still be in there, or maybe she's in the Elite Four or something, right? All these people, we're going to have changes. But I also, like I said, I also feel like they're going to have new Pokemon. They're going to have evolved Pokemon, cross-evolution Pokemon. Then we get into the Elite Four. And this is where things get crazy. Elite Fours always change. Always. In the original Elite Four, we had Lorelei, who's the Ice Gym leader, or Ice Elite Four. We have Bruno, who's the fighting. We have Agatha, who's the ghost. And we have Lance with the dragon. All those people, I think we're going to have completely new. And we do see
Agatha,
that.
of course.
Oh yeah, Agatha. I hate to say it, but I think she's gone. She's a ghost herself.
She joined her ghost team.
I'm
right back.
All right. But trainers in Gen 2 and in Gen 4, right, our Elite Four in Kanto changes again. And like I said earlier, it's Koga. Then it becomes it's Koga, Bruno, Karen for the dark, and Lance for the dragon. I'm going to say Koga's gone. I'm going to say Bruno's gone. I'm going to say that Karen is still there and Lance is gone. I'm going to say we have completely new, except for one person, Elite Four. And I'm going to say one of those people is going to be a fairy type. And our champion, I think it's going to be Red. Or maybe it's somebody different. Maybe it's, I don't know. Pick somebody. Maybe it's In. Or, I mean, just pick a crazy one for real. But these people are going to change. And their Pokemon's going to change. Their types are going to change. Our Elite Four are going to be totally different. And the Elite Four road's going to be different. Ooh, I just thought about this. What if Cynthia is the Dragon Elite Four member?
Wipe her like always.
Do what?
I said wipe her like always. She won't be squat. Her Garchomp is garbage. I don't care what anybody says. Her Garchomp is weak.
And see, I could see it if she did end up in Kanto and she ended up in the Elite Four. She would be old. But I do believe the one person that would be like right before the champion would have all fairy types. Because how easy would it be for a fairy type trainer to walk right through the Elite Four? I mean, literally. If Karen's still there, she has Dark. Weak. If I doubt Poison's still gonna be there. What if it's Steel, then yeah, Fairy's gonna have a hard time. But I'd almost be for certain that Fairy would dominate that if they planned it right. And then if there's a Dragon type Elite Four, Fairy's gonna walk all over that. So leaves her right before the champion.
Can't even, because Dragon can't even hit Fairy.
Mm-mm. It'd beat Fighting, it would beat Dark, it would beat Dragon. I mean, I could see a Steel beating them, but at the same time, I think Fairy would be on top right before the champion. And like I said, who knows? I'm going to say Red is the champion. Do something with Red, or maybe, okay, this just hit me. Are you ready for this?
No.
You're probably not. I'm not gonna lie. Every single battle in Red and Blue, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, when it comes to Elite Four, when it comes to champions, what type of battle is it?
It's always your rival.
No. It's always, a lot of times it's your rival. But it's also a single battle. What if there's two champions, Red and Blue, and you have to double battle for your champion spot? You know how much I want that right now?
But how would that work out? Because that would be 12 Pokemon against 6.
What if they only have 3? They gotta make it even. Let's say Red has Charizard,
Pikachu,
and we'll say Venusaur, right?
Blue has Bulbous,
Venusaur,
Blastoise.
Well, Blastoise is on Red. Oh, yeah, Blastoise is on Red's team. Let's throw something out there. A Butterfree maybe, or no, not Butterfree. Butterfree. I hate to say it, but Butterfree's weak. Scizor, right? Throw some Johto.
He's still weak.
Scizor?
In my opinion, he's 4 times weak to fire. I'm sorry.
But he's also.
I
can see him doing really good though. In the
Scizor,
right
Fire Blast, dead.
That's if you don't get outsped. I mean, Game Freak's already proven that they're willing to make the casual game use competitive strategies. This is the 30th anniversary. Go all in, double battle, competitive strategies.
Megas.
Maybe.
Megas, Terras, and everything else.
Yeah,
possibility.
That is a possibility. And I'm going to say his last one is going to be Dragonite. I'm going to say it's Dragonite.
So I'm just going to... So you said Charizard, Pikachu, Blastoise.
Yep.
Venusaur.
Scizor.
And Dragonite. Okay. Gyarados takes out 2 of his Pokemon.
But are you going to be prepared for a double battle with 2 champions you don't know about? How many times have we walked into a champion battle knowing what Pokemon they're going to have? Unless it's our rival. When we walked into Cynthia, did we know what she had? That's the thing. Like, we can sit here and come up with strategies, but okay, so I said for the original, the Elite Four, since we're 30 years in the future, Karen, we'll say a dragon type, because there's always going to be a dragon type, a steel type, and a fairy type. You walk through those, you've had a hard time. Some people have potion stalled as one strategy. Some people have rocked it so hard that they're level 80s. and they're walking into the championship battle, and you see Red and you see Blue there. And they're like, congratulations on getting this far. Red, ... because it's the joke. Blue says, but see, something new has changed. Instead of one champion, there's two.
Yeah.
Me and Red have always tied. ... Isn't that right, Red? ... Now you have to face us. It's like the 30th anniversary double battle. Ah! I would literally, like, I think if I walked into that, even with the way I always over level and everything like that, I'm gonna be standing up. I'm usually sitting down. Most people are casually playing Pokemon. I'm gonna be standing up and be like, oh, like, I'm down to my last potion. I'm down to my last revive. Like,
I didn't hear half of that. You peaked your mic so bad.
like, no joke. Like, I'm gonna be freaking out because I just walked into these two and I don't know what they have. And I've probably used a ton of potions and revives. And now I have to face them in a double battle. Oh.
I think that would be fun and interesting, honestly.
Once I got done with that battle, I would have to take a video and I would literally have to caption it, "Thank you, Game Freak," and just do this the whole time.
But see, going like that though, think about it this way. If they go do a double battle, right?
Yeah.
You can't complete even though I don't think this will ever do this, but this is just my idea that I like, just because of what they've turned Pokemon into, where you can play co-op and stuff. Maybe you have an option to where you fight one or the other, but if you have a friend, you fight both double battle that way. 12v12.
Oh, that would be amazing, dude. They've already been playing with multiplayer. They really have.
But the only problem is, you and your friend have to be at that. You and your friend both have to. You can't join your friend and just go straight to the Elite Four. You have to have completed all 8 gyms before you even have the option to play with your friend at the Elite Four.
Ooh.
You actually have to earn your right still to go to the Elite Four.
Yeah.
But you have to beat your Elite Four members, and then right before you go to the champion and everything, you have that small area to be able to join up with a friend to go in competitively.
That would be
together
awesome.
And do a double battle that way.
And just to add on that, just some more crazy speculation, right? Heart Gold, Soul Silver, one of the mechanics or gimmicks, not necessarily battle gimmicks or mechanics, in that game was that you got these stamps for your trainer card, right? One of those stamps was to defeat the Elite Four so many times, to defeat the champion so many times. And I think it was like 10 to 20 times. So what if, for that sticker, right? Instead of like getting the sticker and all this other stuff, me and Red just throughout our journeys have captured some interesting Pokemon, and you have bested us for many, many times. Have a Mew. or like, we've met this rare Pokemon. We've only ever seen one of them. Here's a Mewtwo. Like, or maybe, because there's only one Pokemon game that actually has this Pokemon. Here's a Meltan. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is the only one that has actually had Meltan, and you can get Melmetal all that good stuff through Pokemon Go, you can play with Metal. I can't see that. Yes. Meltan. Yep.
You know how long it's been since I've even dealt with Meltan? I don't remember.
I actually, he's one of my favorite ones to use in Sword and Shield for the Dynamax battles. Gigantamax, Meltan, or Melmetal. And, which by the way, a little teaser for next week, that actually teases the next gen. Even though that's not even a Pokemon in Scarvy, it teases Gen 10. Yep. Yep. I'll let you ruminate on that one. Also, another thing. What if all the legendaries, right? We've already discussed that legendaries, even though in the games themselves they're rare, right? We know they're rare. But they're not only just a single Pokemon, right? What if we end up getting Lugia, Ho-Oh, the 3 legendary dogs, the 3 legendary birds, Mew, Celebi, Mewtwo, in this 30th anniversary Kanto, maybe even travel to Johto, maybe do the backwards, where most games it's Johto to Kanto.
You travel forward.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of ways that Game Freak could go. Lots of ways. So, you got anything to add? I've been doing a lot of talking.
No. Because that's why you've been doing a lot, because I've not really had anything for this one.
This one, I've been kind of playing around with for a little bit. Thinking about. But next week, we will definitely be talking about Gen 10. And, just for you to do some research on, okay? Gen 10, based in Greece. That's what the region's going to be based off of. Not confirmed, but me personally, I'm about 90% sure.
Maybe this is the gen we go to China.
No. Now, if you can come up with some connective tissue on that, I want you to bring it next week. But
Hey, you never know. You're 90% sure that we're going to go to Greece.
yeah,
But I'm 85% sure that we're going to China in this next gen.
all right, we've got homework trainers. Panda's gonna do some homework and get some connective tissue to see if China is gonna be the next region. I've already been working on my connective tissue. And we'll see which one y'all think. So, we're going to end it there on that little hype for next week. Like I said in the beginning, like this video. If you want to hear more, subscribe. If you want to hear more, because I'm telling you, as the weeks go on, we're going to get crazier and crazier. Especially once more stuff starts getting leaked and dropped.
Yep.
We're going to get talking about that. Like, oh, yeah. Okay. Anyways, there's stuff on the way. There's already been some stuff leaked, and we haven't talked about it yet. Because I know Panda's not on X, and I've seen some hints from a leaker. I take it with a grain of salt, but there has been a possible hint leak to a Mega Victory Bell. I'm taking that one with a grain of salt. Yeah. Taking it with a grain of salt. But that is a possibility. It is a possibility, but this is a leaker that has dropped some credible stuff, but I've only seen it from one source. So,
But at the same time, is that still a possibility?
it is a
But
possibility.
I highly doubt we're getting a mega victory bell.
I don't know. But more stuff's going to drop the closer and closer we get. So, hit that subscribe button. Talking about so much. Comment. Let us know what you think. We want to hear.
And share to everybody else so we can get their opinions too.
If y'all want to hear something specific, hit the comment section. For real.
Let us know.
Yeah. Anything we can do better? Let us know. I've already been trying to work on the background. If y'all haven't noticed, I've been trying to do a little bit more better on some editing.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm planning on getting a green screen for behind mine.
Yeah, all this in the background's a work in progress.
But if I'm being honest, I'm waiting till I get the green screen till I reorganize in here.
Yeah. But let us know. Hit the comment section. Share it out. I mean, we want to hear from y'all. Who knows? If we can get, I'm going to say 25 subscribers, maybe I'm going to go out and see if I can't find some Pokemon cards or something and give them away. I got to find them first, though.
Yeah, you can't find them anywhere.
I've been thinking about it for a while, but I've actually looked in both Walmarts that are nearby. I looked at my local, Dollar Tree. I've looked, there are no, actual regular packs. We're not talking where you get the coin. We're not talking, the rando pack.
There's some in McMinnville.
Is there really? I haven't been to that one. Okay, I know where I'm going to end up going. So...
But that might have been because I had just went in after they was stocking too.
Well,
so they could be out now.
Our local Walmart has been out for a while, and
or every time they get restocked and everything, it's too late for we even get in there.
And then the one we went to today, there was nothing. There was the random pack, like I was talking about earlier. It's hard, y'all. But
there might also be one at one of our local game stores.
Might have to check that out too.
I don't know. I ain't been in there for a while.
I haven't either. But if we can get to 25 people, I will figure out something to give away. I want to get to 25 subscribers and then so on and so forth. So share it out, y'all, for real. And let us know anything you want to talk about. I mean, we might even just do a live show where we just get people on here and talk. Who knows? But
never know.
That's all for this week, trainers. And we're out for the week. Peace, y'all.
Peace.